what did y'all call it? Oh, you did a play, and I used to do plays when I was in high school. You did. I think you did the play. You were one of the characters in the play of Mice and Men or something to that effect. I think it was that play of Mice and Men, and uh, and you were good. You were good. You were a great actor. Take it from your dad. Yes, right, baby. And then what was the other thing you did? Show choir. Show choir, where you guys were like doing choreographed show tunes or something to that effect. I don't think you guys were singing. Were you? Hats off to Dante, first of all, so I can take my jacket off there. But no, I don't. I don't think you guys were singing. Maybe you were lip syncing the tunes. I don't know, but it had to be choreographed, and it was pretty good. And then you guys did you actually did a couple of presentations at the Hayward, downtown Hayward, where they would take they would take the street and block it off for the farmers market. And I think you guys was performing in that arena, I believe. And I knew you could. I knew you could do something like that on to that effect because I can remember when I was doing my Michael Jackson impersonations, and we went to the water slides, the company picnic at the water slides, Viking Freight, and I used to get. They always wanted me to do Michael Jackson impersonations because they knew I did the Michael Jackson impersonations, and I would do them at the Christmas parties and whatnot. And so they asked if I would do a performance, the Michael Jackson performance at the next company picnic, because the owners of the trucking company, they're always there at the picnic at the water slides, and they were going to do the Blues Brothers. And so they were saying, man, it would be great, man, if you showed up and did your Michael Jackson thing. And so I did. And I think there was a contest. There was a contest. The company was having a contest about someone creating a slogan for our new motto or mission statement, which was easy to do business with. And at this time, we were transitioning into using these, they called them these little wands where you would scan the barcode, which was called the Pro Label. And we was actually doing a prototype for the things that FedEx used, because FedEx eventually bought them out rather. And so the slogan was easy to do business with. And so I came up with this rap because they was having a contest of who could come up with the best rap. That's when rap was starting to really get popular. And I came up with this. I made this tape of a beat. I took a couple of beats and things, and I came up with some lyrics indicating that how the company was easy to do business with. And I used what's his name, the weed smoker. What's his name? With the ponytail. Smoked weed. Him and Snoop Dogg were smoking weed, and he smoked Snoop Dogg under the table. Willie Nelson. Did Willie Nelson song "On the Road Again." I took the rhythm of "On the Road Again" and I created that jingle, and there was a person in the company that wanted to do it with me because they wanted to be seen with me doing it. And then they chickened out. So I asked you. I said, Dante, you want to do this thing with me at the company picnic? And you said, yeah, yeah, daddy. That's how you talk when you was a little kid. Yeah, daddy. And so we practiced it and rehearsed it, and you learned the lyrics. You did. You learned the lyrics, and we actually won the slogan contest. But there was another guy that worked for the company on the night shift or third shift. I was first shift. They had three shifts. I was first shift, because I was a truck driver delivering. They call it pickup and delivery, local delivery, and the second shift was just the dock workers unloading the trucks from the. We go out. The night shift would load the trucks up, and in the morning time, we would deliver the product and pick up product, and then the swing shift and the night shift would unload the trucks, and then the night shift would do it again, load the trucks. But there was a guy on the night shift. His name was actually Michael Jackson. But the company, they called me Michael Jackson because I did Michael Jackson impersonation so much. So the owner of the company said, hey, Michael Jackson won. And the guy named Michael Jackson actually entered that contest too. He just didn't perform at the company picnic, but he submitted a rap. Because he was a rapper. I wasn't a rapper. But anyway, to make a story longer than it's short, uh, and so the reason how I know all this information about who won and why I didn't get the prize, I think the prize was like $200, and you got your picture in the company quarterly magazine. I got my picture in the quarterly magazine. I do have that picture, but it was just for doing the Michael Jackson impersonation. But the guy Michael Jackson, they gave him the check. And so the operations manager, I never forget his name, Jim Minium. I won't tell you the story behind him, but he loved seeing me do that, my Michael Jackson impersonation at the company picnic. And so he came up to me one day when I was getting ready to, they were loading up my truck and I was securing my load and everything. And so he came up to me and he said, all right, man, you won, man. I said, yeah, I finally got the freight tied up. And he said, no, didn't you get your check? I said, it's not payday yet, Jim. He said, no, for the contest. I said, no. He said, no. We told him give it to Michael Jackson. I said, I didn't get no check. Come to find out, they gave it to the guy on the third shift because his name was actually Michael Jackson. And so I said, oh, it's okay. It's okay, man. He entered the contest. He was like, no. The owners of the company, I can't remember their names, but they said, no. They said, give it to you. But they was calling you Michael Jackson, and you know everybody here call you Michael Jackson on the day shift. I was like, Jim, I didn't get it. But I said all that short story to make the story longer was because, Donte, you shocked me, man. You actually did that on stage with me. And the other instance I can remember where you shocked me was when your Auntie Anna, she was dating this guy that was a guard at the prison in the city of Corcoran, California, and he heard that I did Michael Jackson impersonations, and so the school that either his nephews were going to, they were having a talent show, and he asked would I participate in their talent show, and I said, man, that's a high school talent show. He said, no, but we want you to be like the special guest. So I said, okay. So they put me up in a hotel, and they paid me, of course, to do the performance. And so we brought your grandmother, and I think your Uncle Michael came, and your Auntie Rosie came because I was going to do The Way You Make Me Feel. And remember, your Auntie Rosie was going to be the pretty lady with the high heels on. She was going to do it. And then me and you were gonna do Black or White because it had just came out as a song, but it had never came out as a video. And so I was gonna be the first one to kind of do the Black or White song at the talent show. And so we practiced that one. And when it came time to go to Corcoran, and I kept asking you, Donte, you sure you want to do it? And you were like, yeah, I want to do it. I said, okay. I said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you sitting in the front row, and then I'm going to say, No, he wasn't going to sit in. You wasn't going to sit. You wasn't sitting in the front row. I had you backstage, and I was going to say, come on, come on, come on. Then you'd come out and do the rap. But what happened was when I got to the city of Corcoran, we got there like a day, I think maybe 2 days before the performance, and so they had met your grandmother, and they were taking her out because she's a country girl too, and it was a Cherokee country girl. But they took her and gave her all this farm produce that they were growing, and really enjoyed your grandmother because your grandmother was that type of person. And so uh, one of the sisters of the guy who had me to do the performance, he said, she said, could her, they found out you were going to be performing, and they said, could their son come on stage? And I'm like, sure, sure. This is where I said, just have him sit in the front row. So when I say, come on, come on, come on, he can come up on the stage, and then he could join you, because at some point, you were going to do your rap, and then the rest of the song, we were going to dance the end of the tune. You kind of remember that, don't you? And your Uncle Michael had videotaped it. I don't know where that's at. So anyway, to make a short story longer, so we get there, and I'm getting prepared. So I asked them, I said, a day ahead, let me go take a look at the auditorium where I'm going to be performing at. I want to get a look at the stage and look at the seating and how it's set up. And it was set up like a normal school auditorium. And so they kept saying to me after I came to the auditorium, they said, so now what are you going to need? What are you going to need? And I said, hey, I see a searchlight up there. Does that work? Sure, it works. We'll get a guy up there on the searchlight. And so when you come out on, I said, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to be backstage through the whole performance of the talent show, and then be the last act of their talent show. But I would come in through the front door of the auditorium and run down the aisle, get up on stage, and start my performance. And I said, so it would be nice if we could have that spotlight to kind of beam when I come in. And I had a particular tape. Back then we had cassette tapes. We didn't have CDs or DVDs. We had cassette tapes. And so they said, hey, that wouldn't be a problem. So now all of a sudden the mayor finds out I'm going to be doing the Michael Jackson impersonation. The mayor of the city, that is, found out that I was going to be doing the Michael Jackson impersonation. So he wanted to come. And so then the guys from the police department, I think it was the police chief, and he was saying, hey, how can we help you? Do you need security and all this? I said, no, it ain't that serious. He said, hey, but I tell you what if we can escort you in the door when you come in through the door to get on stage? I said, well, technically, I really wanted to, have the door open, cue my music, and run to the stage. They said, hey, we could do it like Michael Jackson. He has security, and you just hold on to our shoulder and run to the stage. I said, oh, that'd be a good idea. And so that's kind of like how the format was going to go. In the meanwhile, I go back to the hotel, and I'm practicing because I think I did 3 songs, and I sang The Way You Make Me Feel. I only lip sync to the Speed Demon, and then I always ended my act with Man in the Mirror, and I sang that one. And then for the grand finale, we were going to do Black or White. So anyway, where was I at in the story? Oh, so I go back to the hotel, and I asked you. I said, Donte, you sure you're going to be able to do it? And he's like, yeah. So the day of the performance, we get to the school, and I come into the back of the entrance of the stage, and they were saying, "Hey, so can we get you anything? What do you need?" And I said, "I need a." I had a name for it. I said I need a backstage pass. They said, "Backstage pass, man. You the act." I said, "No. What I needed was I was a drinker then. I said, what I need is," and my sister Rosie. I said, "I just need some." I think she was drinking gin or vodka. I said, "Just need some vodka." Oh yeah, she was vodka and orange juice. We backstage, man, and me and her, we just and the other people that were back there, we just down and we had like a gallon of vodka and orange juice, just down and uh, vodka and orange juice. It didn't affect my performance, but I'm saying this is what we're doing backstage at the school while the talent show was going on, and so somewhere in between, they would open the curtain. You're backstage, and then there's another curtain backstage. So when you're backstage, they can't see you backstage. There's, the two curtains. So as different acts would go on, and I would peek through the backstage curtain, and I looked and I said, "Oh, shit, this place is standing room only." I don't know if Donte's gonna be able to do it. I think he's gonna be scared. And so I had my brother Michael to be at the front with my camera on the tripod to film the whole thing. And I'm thinking, first it was just like, full seating. And almost about the end of the school's talent show, I peeped out again and I said, okay, I see where the little kid is sitting in front that I told him, told his parents he could come up on stage, and somebody else found out that I said he could come up on stage, and they asked me could their son come up on stage. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, two kids, that's not going to interrupt Donte's thing. And so I'm looking out, and I go, oh my God, now it's standing room only. People are just lined up along the walls. They're all in front of the stage, and they're just waiting for me to come out. And so I told him, I said, okay, it's time for you to get the makeup on and put my my outfit on. And so I make my way to the front of the auditorium. So we got the police department there. And they said, hey, so the mayor is here too. I'm like, really? The mayor is here? Wow. And so they said, now, what do you want us to do? I said, I need one of you guys to be inside. So when you hear my music cued, it's just going to be this, it's like a sound check that they used to do for this sound called Dolby Theater sound in the movie theaters. I said, so when you hear that, that's going to be my cue to come on and run on stage. And I got it timed, so I give myself enough time to get up on stage and get in position. So I was famous in Oakland for doing what they call statue mime. That's how I ended up becoming a Michael Jackson impersonator, doing the statue mime. And they used to tell me I look a lot like Michael Jackson. And so anyway, we won't go through that story, Donte, on your birthday. It's a long story, but you're old enough now, and you're going to be just like your dad, sitting around in a rocking chair going, I remember when I was a young boy. But anyway, uh-oh, time for some water. Anyway, I go to the front of the auditorium. Water. The other white meat. you ain't no telling what's in your water nowadays. Anyway, I come to the front of the auditorium. Hear the sound cue. So I got like let's see, 2, 4, 6 cops that's gonna be running. One in the center, I'm gonna hold on to his shoulder. So he's like, "You ready? You in position?" I go, "Yeah." He tells them to cue the music. They cue the music. They open the door. I run with my hand on the shoulder. People turn around because they saw the door open, and they turn around, and just the whole auditorium just lit up, man. I mean, it was literally like a reaction from a real Michael Jackson. And the auditorium just lit up, and I ran up on stage, and I did my thing, and get to the grand finale. We get to the grand finale, And I make a little brief announcement. We're going to do a song you guys haven't heard yet. This is the latest, Michael Jackson, Black or White. And boom, they cued the song, and I started doing the song. And of course, in the middle of the song, Michael Jackson had this rap. They had the rap. Shit, I can't remember it. I'm concerned that Donte gonna remember it in front of the crowd, and I don't even have a crowd, and I can't. Oh, I remember. It said, "Protections from gangs, clubs, and nations, causing grief in human relations. It's a turf war on a global scale. I'd rather hear both sides of the tale. See, it's not about races, just places, faces. Where your blood comes from is where your space is. I seen the bright get duller. I'm not going to spend my life being a color." So that was going to be the rap that Donte did, right? And then after that, I think I would do the bridge, and then I would call the kids up on stage. So performance is going like clockwork. Then it came time for Donte, and then it went ding, and then he came out. He said, "Protection, did not miss a beat, boy. You didn't miss a beat." And I looked, and I looked over at Rosie. I said, "You did it." And so when it got to the bridge part, and I looked down at the little kid, I said, "Come on, come on, come on." And then he come up, the other kid come up, all the kids on the front row came up on stage, man, and they started getting in front of Donte, and Donte, he just wedged his way and bogarted his way. He wasn't through with his rap yet. I said to myself, I'm so proud of my son, boy. He was hanging with his dad. Boy, hanging with his dad. And you are such a great son. You're such a great son, and I'm proud of you. And so I won again. Oh, I'm in the rocking chair. That's the rocking chair bring out them old country grandpa. And I won again. Spec. And I won again. And I want to again just say how proud I am of you, son, for being such a great father, and for being such a great dad, and for being such a great son. And I hope on this day that you enjoy this day and really, really do something that you want to do. And don't let nobody interfere with what you want to do. Number 6. See, I just remembered number 6 of the 7 rules of life. It's on you. I ain't as old as I think. Rule number 6 of the 7 rules of life, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. I knew I would remember. I knew I could give old man time. I remember back in 1910 when they first invented water. I said, hey, that's like the other white meat. It's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. So on this day, we can say happy birthday, the date of your birth, the anniversary of your birth, and to commemorate your birth on this Memorial Day as we memorialize you on this day. I love you, son. I'm proud of you. I'm looking forward to coming back to California to visit and see you and see the girls. Hi, girls. To give you the king wave. Hi, Cece Moo Moo. You ain't too old for me to call you Cece Moo Moo. And Trinity. And Tawana. And Honey Bunny. I'm embarrassing all my kids and grandkids today. But this is your day, son. This is your day. And so remember, rule number 6, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. So I'm believing you to have a happy birthday, and that was some great memories we had. Looking forward to having some more great memories with you. And this has been another episode of Out of the Darkness and Into the Light. And I'm getting too old to be squatting down like this. but I'm gonna do it anyway. And I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and you way back there in the back. I love you too. I'm gonna holler at you. I love you too. Oh yeah, you way over there.